Okay. All right. We got our players. Let's get rid of the quackle. I think these guys are ready to go. So I'm gonna tell them they can start. Um, yeah, role model Okiemute Tega is finally up, and this game is gonna be blitz. Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't seen him compete. Obviously, he. Oh, perfect. All right, the clocks are perfect now. Whoops. Just have to get this here. All right, I'm pretty sure these are gonna be good. I just have to get this on all the other screens real quick. Players can begin for sure. I'll be ready in just a second. Fixing, I have 6 little screens that need to be all fixed. And we'll be right with the action here. All right. Okay. Players looking good, board's looking good. I'm ready to rock here. We're gonna have a new game. It's between Wellington, which I always love to watch Wellington play, and Tega, who this is exciting to see a fresh face. I'm not familiar with Tega. Does anybody who can give me some background on this player? He's in first place right now. He's doing great. He has a 1900 rating, so obviously a strong, experienced player. But I've not seen him play before, so I'm very excited for that. Uh-oh. Looks like Wellington playing. Oh, wow. Okay, so the reason Wellington played that so quickly was that he had 3 ends on his rack. So this makes a lot of sense. It's probably just a bit better than exchanging to play Jun. Knowing Wellington, he probably also likes the defensive aspects of Jun, not taking an S hook. Wellington definitely very savvy with those types of decisions. Baba J says, you will be shocked. He is a very good player. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Right. I will fix that. He's already gotten that many points. Sorry. Normally there's a break. There was no break. So I'm still sort of messing with this stuff. Thank you. Anything else like that, be sure to call it out, though. So, all right. So XI, the very simple play for Tega with he has an X. He's going to try to play it anywhere he can. He has 2 I's. This undoubles them. Makes a lot of sense. And I think Wellington exchanged. I'm expecting that he exchanged tiles there. So, Gideon says, trying to win back that Crescent City title. Wish I could go to it maybe when I graduate high school. Yes. Oh, that's nice. If your brother takes you to Albany, that'll be really nice. All right, so Wellington must have had that rack. He exchanges. And Tega playing Voima. That looks like a really good play for him as well. I think I'm now caught up. The nice thing about that play, hold on, just have to, let's see. The nice thing about this play is that the V here prevents any counterplay to the triple. So it's a pretty safe way, relatively safe, of extending out into space. There's definitely underlapping potential here. Wellington drawing a very nice rack. Oh, are we going to see Dickies for a second straight game? Come on. Yeah. Mitsurugi not a fan of Jun on that first play. I think it's close. His leave NNRV is not ideal, but I don't know. I think it's pretty close. I don't think it's obvious. Okay, we're not going to see. Yeah, we're not going to see if Wellington spots his best play here. Best plays, in fact. There are 2 plays that play through this E. So if you're Wellington in this situation, you've got a blank, you're wanting to find like what is the best theoretical possible play, and the answer is something that hits something that hits this square and this square together. So he's looking through that E to try to connect them. A couple plays have been noted. Yep, there they are. The two plays that actually fit there are tick seed and sickened. So these are the two plays that he needs to find in this scenario. I fully expect him to see at least one of those two. He's taking a little time just to be sure. If he were to miss those plays, it's not impossible. You would still have good S-hooking plays in this line right here. But ideally, okay, there we go. We're seeing the right letters on the board. He's going to play sickened, which makes sense. It is worth noting that if tick seed had hit the board, there is this word too. It would be interesting to see if the players know that. So if tick seed had been the choice, you would have another S hook on top of that, which would potentially score really well. Sickened is the play here. It's possible, like if I was Wellington, if I saw both of those plays, if I saw both sickened and tick seed, I would be tempted to play tick seed just to test my opponent and just see, do you know the S hook in front of this right here? The S hook that goes here in this spot, right? It's not that good of an S hook, but you never know when you might find it handy. And if I'm Wellington and I'm thinking about that, maybe I want to put that on the board just in case I need it for some later time. Sickened, I think, all things being equal, is a better play. I think it's probably a better play. Okay. Tega is going to quickly play. Looks like his best play of Choir using that QU in the top corner. That's going to score 50 points, leaving BO for him. That is clearly correct on his part, and it's going to get him much of the way back from his deficit. We'll see what Wellington draws here. He's just picked his replenishment tiles. So early lead for Wellington Jighere here over Tega Okiemute in first place with 10 wins. First player to 10. Yeah, if we cut to the, let me see. Can I cut to the standings here? Yeah, so you can see the standings in the lower corner. Tega at 10 wins. Olatunde has been in first place most of the event so far, but we just saw him lose a tough game to Sahid Jimo in round 14, dropping to second. Still really good spread. Amazingly, again, Olatunde finished the day yesterday with a tie, and then in one of his, I think in his second game of the day today, he had another tie. I rarely have heard of two players, or rather one player tying two games in one tournament. That's really surprising. Amazing, in fact. So, and that's nice for him too, right? Because again, as we were saying, you use that spread, that margin, the plus minus, as a tiebreaker. That is the way that you split ties between players that have the same number of wins. And if you have a tie, you're almost never going to have the same number of wins because ties are so rare. So by tying two games, Olatunde's spread now matters again, and that's great news for him because he has the best spread in the tournament by a lot right now. Redying, that's right. So there are a couple bingos available here, and those bingos are, as was just suggested, redying through the D, and the other one being eyeliner through this E. So again, it's very similar to the previous scenario, almost exactly the same. in fact, with Wellington having a blank and exactly 2 bingos available that you're looking to find. Of course, on Wellington's previous turn, he had a million other bingos available, hooking an S onto this spot here, but he was looking for it specifically through this spot, so he found it. Slightly different, but either one of these 2 bingos would be fine. Redying is slightly better because it scores 4 more points. Wellington circling a letter on that slip. You can see the players will have... Oh, okay. Eyeliner is going to be his play. So if we're going to call this a mistake, it's going to be the slightest mistake. I'm not really worried too much about this. I guess there is this idea that now there's another S hook out in space here with eyeliners. There already is a good S hook here, so it's not the end of the world to create a new one. Really, it's just the 4 points mostly. And I suppose maybe he'll sometimes regret. All right, Tega immediately plays Brood as a response to the D. Oh, he plays Brooder. Oh my gosh, that's even better. That's definitely correct. Brooder. Yeah, more floaters. Yeah. More floaters with eyeliner, putting an E out in space. That's worth noting too. So for sure, as we see this nice play of Brooder here, but if we go back to eyeliner versus redying, that is for sure a difference between the 2 plays. The E is the best bingo letter in the game. Whoops. Right here. So placing one out in open space is not quite as good as redying, where the E is really obstructed. Both E's are really obstructed. So yeah, if ever there was, maybe that will come into play as well. Really nice play of Brooder though. Ooh. And we might see it come into play as early as next turn, in fact. Depending on what Wellington plays here, yeah, we might see Clarinet come down. Hey, thanks for the bit, TNF. Appreciate that. We don't have text-to-speech or anything on here, at least that I know of. So, all right. So, fiery is the archaic word that you see a lot. I'm curious about this play. The nice thing about it is that Wellington scores decently, and he keeps his U to potentially play something from this Q. That's what's kind of nice. But I'm curious about maybe just playing something here now, right? Like, surely he saw something like quasi. All right, that's totally not in the right spot. Quasi here. But yeah, eyeliner, so you can see it's always kind of interesting when the nuance of the play that you just called out as like, maybe this isn't as good. Well, you're about to see, why does it matter? That E is such a good bingo tile, and this rack was completely reliant on that E in order to bingo. Admittedly, Tega did have sync to this Q, right? He could have played CINQ here for a pretty good score, but Clarinet is definitely better. It's a bingo, 25 more points, and that's going to get him pretty close back into the game. Sorry, the scores need major updating. The score is now 228 to 220. So wow. Big swing to get that bingo down. He is rewarded for Brooder, exactly. So Tega, like we had a question of what level of play is he going to show here, and he has yet to make a mistake at all. Absolutely flawless play from him so far. Wellington himself has also played very well, and he's going to reap the benefits of his previous play of Fiery, which I think is pretty sharp, because now he's going to play something from, oh my god, I got to fix this. From the Q here. Now, why is this like this? Okay, I see. We're going to fix this a bit. There we go. This should be better. This should be way better. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, I fixed it. No consideration for wage. Oh, wage is, of course, worth consideration. So Binac pointing out potentially playing wage right here to the F of fiery. Again, saving the U and potentially drawing a bingo. You don't even have to draw a Q play with the leave of UTS. You could draw a bingo with eyeliners. Or firies if you're lucky. So that's definitely possible. I think quags and stuff like quags or quate score really well. I would definitely be considering that. So we'll see what Wellington opts to do. Yeah, wage is definitely worth consideration. This is a tricky one. Oh wow, Tega's rack has gone south. So Tega needed a good post bingo draw to keep pace with Wellington's eventual. I think he's probably going to place a Q play here, and he is going to play quate, leaving the S as opposed to quags. Or well, he's picking it up. You never know. You never know. All right. Quags, is that going to be the final answer? His hand hovering over the timer. I won't say for sure. Okay, there it is. He's hit the timer. And Tega, somebody that when we asked the chat what they think of Tega's skill level, somebody in the chat said he's gonna play blitz. And look at that timer. He's at 21 minutes halfway through the game. 25 minutes, the starting amount. And he's played literally flawlessly. He has not made a mistake in this game. A bait goes down through the B with all those vowels, unduplicating his T's and untriplicating his A's. Definitely the right play there. He's played quick. Evil Budgie says adequate. There are definitely a few others. Torquate, if you can draw T-O-R, that will also... Oh, wait. Yeah, Torquate, Coequate, so there are a few. Wellington may have been unwilling to create those extensions. Wow, look at Tega's rack now. Oh, Western on... Oh, Wellington is getting set to bingo again here. This is going to be tough for Tega, who frankly, having seen his level of play so far, I'm excited to watch more. This is a great matchup. I bet this won't be the last time we see these two players playing. So Wellington is thinking hard positionally about where to put this play of Western. They're very, very similar. So, of course, the point is you can play Western here, you can play Western here. Both of them score exactly the same number of points, amazingly, 89 points. Both of them make kind of a big spot, like right here, or in this other variation right here. So both of these are pretty big spots. The N is in the same place with both of them. So he ultimately settles on the vertical Western. No axe or typo to see that choice. Yeah, that's a very nice play. All right, now if Tega makes the correct play here instantaneously, I will be really impressed. There is a play here that seems to be significantly better than any other play. That's not it. That's not it. Although maybe at this score, it's okay. But I think that this play of Razoo is probably worth making for him. So this is the first thing that can be construed as anything close to a mistake. And even then, maybe it's not a mistake because you need to create some kind of action here, right? Like it makes sense to create some kind of a threat to deal with this spot. If I could draw lines, which clearly I can't. Um, so maybe we're gonna call this the first hint of a mistake from Tega, but he's played amazingly well. Wellington's just drawn very, very well this game, and obviously played very, very well also. So, definitely expecting. Well, this is tricky. I think maybe part of the reason for this play is to create a threat that preserves Tega's chances of playing something here. That's probably, and that's what's going to happen, right? So Vaw, Wellington's going to play Vaw. That looks like his best play for sure. The only drawback is it leaves the N open at the base of the board. And Tega doesn't have anything there. He has the same play he had last turn. In fact, he has Razoo in that same spot. I also think it would be reasonable if he wanted to play something like Azoth here. That would work. Instead, oh, what's this? He plays Hoot. Okay. That's pretty reasonable too. It doesn't really do too much for his Z. I guess there's a spot to play a Z here now, but that's not particularly useful. Yeah, interesting choice. I don't know. This is obviously a difficult game situation for him. He's trailing by 100 points now, and Wellington has yet to play. So Wellington plays Dump. That's his best equity play here. When we say equity, that means the best combination of points and leave value, having nothing to do with the state of the board. So Dump is the highest scoring play and also keeps a slightly better leave than the other play available that scores the same number of points, which is Dimp, which keeps a U, which he would ideally like to use. So these plays are similar, but man, it's scary to keep leaving that N of Western open, isn't it? Like at this score, pretty much the only threat to Wellington's lead in this game is the play through this spot, and it just continues to stay open. Tega has kept the Z on his rack for quite a while now. Now he plays Hootie and Bai. That was a good play. And, oh, okay, now it looks like finally Wellington not only is going to block off that N, he's going to play Antlered. And that's definitely going to finish this game off. He also has Lanceted. All right, I see the board's not that easy to see here. That's right, Blitz. That's right. He had Blitz available. That's a good point. I think Bai was a good play on his part, of course. So hold on. Let's see. Did we lose? No, I think Wellington is just pausing for a moment. The psychology never stops. Speaking of which, at some point in the near future, I am hopeful to get Austin Shin into the booth with me to do some commentary. Probably, the way this game is going, I might be able to do that in between this break. Okay, here comes Antlered. So, again, I know it's a little fuzzy. I'll show the board in just a second. Oh, is he waiting to put the ED on? Okay, yeah, there it is. So Antlered for 72 is going to be the play. For Wellington, that's going to put him up to 501. Always a nice milestone when you get to that 500-point barrier. There's going to be some good... Let's see how quickly Tega... So there are 3 tiles in the bag. This is the situation here from Tega's standpoint. I fully expect that he is going to play his best play if he spots it. Not sure. It's not on the board yet. No, he plays Zig. Okay, Zig is a good play. I would have thought he would play Ghazi here, though. Yeah, as you guys are pointing out, Ghazi may be slightly better. Zig, I guess, preserves the chance of maybe you draw a bingo, but of course it's totally irrelevant at this point. The score is not enough. So, Wellington has an S to work with here. I wonder, should he just play Bloods at the top of the board? Probably not, because he can do better with a 2-turn sequence. Looks like, from his POV, he can play something here. I guess he should be thinking about... If he plays Doll, probably his follow-up play is just goods here, I'm assuming. So, yeah, either way, totally academic at this point. Wellington is cruising to another win, which is much needed for him. And that's going to be good news for everybody else except Tega, who is currently in first place. Let me put the standings back up so you can see. Here are the standings. Top 8 players heading into round 15. Tega in first place. He's about to lose and take a little bit of a setback, but he can't really drop too far. There are a ton of players at 9 and 5. Really a testament to how many strong players are here. I actually don't recognize the player in third place. Osikina Ogior. That's a new name to me. Also, James Aruje is a new name to me, but all these other names at the top are recognizable except for Tega. So this is this is fun. Things are getting tight here. Tega's about to drop this game, and there's going to be a big logjam at the top as some of these 9 and 5 players win their games. I'm excited. Good morning, Muffin with Tentacle. Nice to see you. Hope you are safely... Whoa, wait. Are you in Lake George? I guess maybe not. I don't remember. I haven't looked closely enough at the list. But if you are back home safe and sound, yes, he is. Nice. Hello to good morning to Ko-Rob as well, who you guys must be in the same general vicinity if you're both. There's a huge tournament in the East Coast of the US today, over 150 players, or roughly 150 players, I should say. And that's going to be exciting too. I don't think there's going to be any sort of live streaming of it, but I know that Axer Typo, who you will recognize if you are longer time viewers of this channel or his own channel, he's going to be taking videos of his games, which I'm really excited to see how that turns out, but it won't be a live stream. Ogior is a veteran player, probably like 70 years old. Wow. That's impressive. He's hanging tough against many of the best players in his country. Okay, Wellington plays golds at the base of the board. That was one of his best endgame plays. The only better one was Doll, as I pointed out. Golds is a very strong play. I am looking around for what it sets up. And let's just commit this and see what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to see it play with CH here for Tega. If let's say he plays that, Wellington just plays old as his outplay. So that would be the situation here. For now, Wellington is going to be up 525 to 373 as we await Tega's play. He has 17 minutes on his clock, which is pretty amazing. Oh, okay. All right, there's Austin. So maybe between this game, we'll get Austin into the booth along with me. It would be great to make that happen. I'll get a hold of you in between this round. Get this man on the broadcast. Yes, he can tell us his stories of facing off against Osikina Ogior, who is in third place right now. All right, the play that was suggested, fat, it goes down. I have to say I've been incredibly impressed by Tega's play in this game. Surely will not be the last we see of him. I expect Wellington to play old as his outplay here. St. Kilda fan, how did Wellington get so far ahead? Well, I'll show you. So final score after the outplay by Wellington, 543 to 402. I will show you how it happened now. So here is what happened. Basically, we saw that the game was pretty close this early. The score was still, at this point, after Quags, after Fiery and Clarinet, at this point, the score was 228 to 220. And then from there on, we saw a big Q play for Wellington, a bingo of Western for 90 points, two 30-point, clunky dumping plays, and then antlered for 72. So several bingos and high-scoring plays, all while Tega was sort of struggling with 3 O's, no easy place to play the Z, weird combination here. So Tega was scoring solidly, 30 points per turn, but Wellington bingoed twice in addition to his 30-point scores and just never put his foot off the gas in this game. Yeah, I think the bag was definitely against Tega. I mean, you saw that from the get-go of Wellington bingoed with the first blank and then bingoed with the second blank immediately. But hey, we've seen the bag go against Wellington as well, and he played really, really well in the game overall. So hey, this was a very crisply played game by both players, and I fully expect we're going to have more of the same. So we'll take a break now. I'm going to get a hold of Austin Shin, former U.S. and U.K. national champion, to help do some commentary. We'll see if we can get set up here. And you guys will get to do some anagramming again as we look at the standings. We'll see where things shake out as we get ready for round 16. Wow. Great games again today. Really, the level of play never disappoints in the MGI event series here. And it continues with the Scrabble Grand Slam 2022 with live coverage of round 16 coming back in just a few minutes.